Roberta with Happy on the Home Front. I'm back with you today to share a Mexican-inspired meatloaf recipe that I am going to be placing in the freezer uncooked. I'm going to be placing my completed meatloaf in a glass container with a tight-fitting lid by a company called Glasslock, and I'll link those below. I got these for Christmas. The recipe that I'm going to be putting together today is kind of a combination of several recipes, and so I'll link those down below. But the main part of the recipe comes from a blogger called familyfoodonthetable.com. Okay, so I'll link that down below, and I am going to, of course, change her recipe just a little bit, and I'm also going to be using larger amounts of ingredients because I want my meatloaf to, number one, fill up my freezer container completely, and I also want this to last us more than one night. So that's my hope. I hope this glass container will hold what I'm getting ready to mix up. So we'll see. So, all right, in my bowl, I have so far placed 2 pounds of ground beef that are 85% and 15% lean. Okay, so 85-15 lean. Okay, and in a minute I will need my gloves. Next, what I'm going to do is open up my jar of Walmart brand organic mild salsa. This is 16 ounces. I will only need about 1.25 cups of this, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and pour a bunch of this over just, some people call it a sieve, some people call it like a strainer, or a type of colander. It's just basically something that I'm going to be using to get a lot of the liquid out of the salsa. You can see that it's very liquidy. And I like that, you know, most of the time. But I'm very concerned, you can see it's just pouring out. I'm very concerned that it's going to make the meatloaf too moist and it's going to be soggy and not formed enough. Next, I'm going to attempt to crush up some cracker crumbs. The recipe calls for 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, but I am going to use these crackers that I already have. These are like a Ritz type cracker from Publix, because I don't have any cracker crumbs, and I kind of wanted to see how this would work, and I felt like this type would be really easy to crush up. You know, my hands are clean. I've already washed them like 10 times before this video. So I'm going to just crush those up really coarsely, and then I'm going to take my pastry blender and just get those a little more even ingredients too. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And we'll see how I did with eyeballing. Okay, so there's 1/4 cup. Half a cup. Oh, that's not quite 3/4 of a cup. Oh, Nubby. Oh, Nub. Oh, what happened? I think I'm shy about a cracker or two, so I'm going to go ahead and just The next thing she calls for in her recipe is 1 cup of hacked spinach leaves. So I am going to put some spinach in mine. I'm probably not going to increase this because this first time I make it, I don't want my family to notice. My family loves spinach, but I kind of want them not to notice the spinach. Okay, and I keep throwing the stems I'm breaking off into my pile of spinach leaves. So don't do that. Okay, and this is just some raw baby spinach. The container says that it has been triple washed. I'm praying that it has. And it is going to be, you know, baked at 400 degrees. So if this were spinach that my family was going to be eating raw on a salad, I would wash it, even though it says it's triple washed. Better safe than sorry. Nobody likes a gastrointestinal bug. I definitely don't. That's the last thing I need around here. So it looks like it says a cup packed. I definitely don't think I have a cup here, but I might stuff these in here. Okay. I need some more. I'm going to try to pick out the leaves that don't need the stems broken off. Oh no! I'm so sorry. Well, how are you getting a boo-boo, honey? Was it that microphone? That toy? What happened? Oh, nubby. You know what? Why don't you go put that microphone away and let's play with something else? Okay, go put it on the toy table. Okay? Okay. Yes, get something else. Okay. Do you want to play in your playpen? Okay. Okay. Here's my cup of packed spinach. She does not say to chop this up. Oh, actually, yes, it does say to be chopped. Okay, so I'm going to turn that out on my cutting board that I have my crackers on. And I'm going to give this a nice, just really simple, rough chop. I really love these knives. They're very, very lightweight. The metal is very thin. I believe, yeah, these are by Rada or Rada. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but they were part of a fundraiser for one of our employees' daughters that attends a daycare, and so they were doing that as a fundraiser. And I've had a vegetable peeler by this company before, and I really liked it. So I thought, well, I'm going to give these a try, and I just love them. They are so sharp and so lightweight. So I'm very pleased with that. Okay, here is my cup of spinach. I'm just going to put that right in there. Okay, that's looking really pretty. Okay. Okay, next, okay, she does call for the salsa. I'm just gonna sort of give this kind of a stir, kind of agitate this a little bit, and see if I can get any more liquid out, and then measure what I have to be between 1 1/4 cups and 1.5 cups of salsa. She does call for 4 ounces, a 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. We actually might have those, but I'd like to use more of this opened jar of salsa now before I open something else that we're not going to use. I'm really funny about that. I do not like to throw stuff away. So, all right, that is looking really good and dry. And I would not believe how much liquid was in that. So I'm probably going to have to use what's left in there. So here's how much salsa I have, and here's all the liquid that was in that. So, all right, so now I'm going to measure my salsa. Oops, and I've already got this out, so I'm just going to use that. Okay, so I'm looking for at least a good hefty cup. Okay, so this doesn't even make a full cup, so okay, I'm just going to give that a little quick agitation and kind of round out my cup here. Okay, that's a nice full cup, and it's already got my green peppers in there, onions, cilantro, of course tomatoes like would be in place of your ketchup. So that's going to be awesome. I don't have to chop onions or green peppers today, which, you know, I don't mind, but it's awesome when you can find something that's yummy and, you know, good for you, that's going to save you some work. So win-win. Okay, and this jar of organic salsa at Walmart, I think, was $1.78. I mean, it's not a lot even for organic. So there's that, and there's a bunch of that liquid left. So I definitely got like a cup and a quarter of the drained salsa. So I'm excited about that. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, green chilies I'm not going to do because there are jalapenos in that. I did the spinach. I did the crumbs. Mine were cracker crumbs. I've got my meat. She does suggest that you could put some, you know, other spices, chili powder, salt, pepper, and even more onion. But I'm not going to do that. I read 3 recipes for a Mexican-inspired meatloaf. And so what I'm going to do is take some ideas from those, and I'm going to add half of a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, and I'm just going to sprinkle that all around so that it gets distributed evenly. You know, you don't want the Worcestershire to overpower your, you know, Latin flavors in this, but I think that Worcestershire is just a really nice complement to ground beef, especially when it's baked like in a burger or a meatloaf. So I'm going to do that, and let's see. Now I'm going to run and get a couple of eggs. Her recipe calls for 1, but like I said, I have more meat, so I'm going to grab 2. And her recipe also calls for a cup of cheese. I'm going to see if I have something in my refrigerator that is a cheese that would be comparable or complement this Mexican-inspired meatloaf. And if I do, I'm going to put some in there. Okay, y'all? Hold on. I'm back. I got 2 eggs. I'm going to rinse those and crack them in a separate container and add them to my bowl. Okay? Okay. Okay, I'm going to quickly give these eggs a quick stir with my fork. I'm sorry, honey, you can't do it right now, but you can later. Oh, nubby. Little love. Little love. Little big love. You want to be on Mommy's video? Okay. Okay, let me pour these eggs in to my meatloaf. Look how pretty they are, Ada. That's a beautiful yellow. Like Big Bird. We love it. Oh. Okay. Here. All right, look at this. Who's that? Who's that? Wave at yourself. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Say, my mama's cooking. Say,
I want to play with the iPad.
You can a little bit later. Mama's using it right now for a recipe.
I want to play with Mama's iPad.
Oh, honey, can I have a kiss?
I want to.
Somebody's getting sleepy, but we don't do naps anymore. Okay, booga. Let's see.
Play with Mama's iPad.
I know it. Mommy. Okay, everybody, I did find an open bag of Colby and Monterey Jack cheeses. Woo-hoo! So she calls for a cup in her recipe, and I really don't want to put any more than that because number one, I'm kind of concerned that my meatloaf is not going to fit in my freezer container. She's waving, you see yourself? Okay, and also I don't want to put too much cheese. Okay, all right. Okay, scoot up for just a minute. You can as soon as mommy is finished. So I'm going to do a loose cup of this shredded cheese, and this will be a good way to use this. Okay, actually that's a pretty good cup. Okay, hold on just a minute. Ooh, Ada, your feet are very cold. Okay, now I'm going to put on my gloves and mix all this by hand. Her recipe says to bake this at 400 degrees for 45 minutes, and that would be, you know, if you have just made this. If your meatloaf is frozen, or if it has not completely thawed when you take it out of your freezer, you know, you're gonna have to increase your time. I must always have to because I never remember to take my food out the night before and put it in the refrigerator. So, but for a 2 pound, okay, hold on just a minute. Mommy's gotta look this up. Okay, so Martha Stewart's recipe says to bake the meatloaf at 400 degrees for 55 or more minutes. Okay, let it rest before you serve it, but you want your internal temperature in the middle of your meatloaf right when you take it out to be 160 degrees. That way you know it's thoroughly cooked and everything that could be in there is not living any longer. So, so that's what I'm going to put on my bag, 400 degrees for like an hour, and I'll put the plus sign so that I know it could take longer. Okay, so let's go with that. Hold on just a minute. Let me see. There it is. Okay, I'm back, y'all, from helping Miss Ada get her iPad all set up. She waited as patiently as she could for a 2-year-old. So now, I've touched all kinds of stuff with my gloves. So I'm just gonna take those off and get a clean pair. Okay. All right, I got a clean pair of gloves. And because I am going to be putting these gloves all in this meatloaf recipe, I am actually going to rinse these under running water. They are powder free, but just to be on the safe side, I would rather do that than, you know, us be eating glove stuff. I don't know what it would be, but just in case. You know, these are not, you know, food handling gloves. I do have some food safe gloves for serving and preparing food. The little thin plastic ones, but they're one size fits all and they are humongous and they don't stay on me at all. So I need to look on Amazon to see if I can find some that are for smaller hands. So, all right, y'all, let me get all this out of the way. And got something salsa all over my counter. Okay, so now is the moment of truth. I am going to put my gloved hands in here and mix all this up thoroughly. Okay, and then that, oh, and it smells so good, y'all. All those ingredients in the salsa, the fresh meat, the cheese, it's gonna be delicious. Okay, all right, let's get going. Yes, we're gonna go ahead and start. Okay, here we go, y'all. Now let's mix this thoroughly with our hands, and we're gonna do a squish and mush method and flip it over and stir so that we make sure we get everything that is on the bottom of the bowl, which is going to be some of the cracker meal, cracker crumbs, okay, some of the salsa ingredients, of course, some of the meat, and the tiny trickle of Worcestershire. So we're going to mix that all up thoroughly. Try not to sling it all around your kitchen like I just did. Okay. And that, it feels nice and dense. It does not feel too liquidy. It does feel moist. So y'all, I'm really encouraged. Okay, and this would be super easy to put down in a gallon freezer bag, okay, that you have, you know, sitting open inside of a container, you know, with the lip turned inside out. Delicious. Y'all, that's one of my favorite words, okay. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? I love the colors. I'm excited. Now, I need to spray the inside of my container with some baking spray because that is going to be the devil to clean it up. You know it is. I mean, you've got cheese, you've got egg, you've got beef. I'm going to be soaking and spraying and scrubbing this dish for like 12 years the day we eat this.
Okay.
So, and I actually might even spray the inside of the lid here, just in case the meatloaf mixture touches it. Okay, and now I'm without gloves, so guess what? I gotta get out more gloves. Okay, next time y'all, if you do this, I'm gonna put a little note at the beginning of the video to spray your container first, so you don't have to keep wasting gloves. Or I could just, I think I'll just get a really big spoon and just spoon it in and not waste it. Well, not waste any more gloves. That's probably a good idea, isn't it? Okay. I hope this bad boy fits, because if not, we might be having some Mexican hamburgers too, y'all. You can call them south of the border meatloaf burgers, y'all. South of the border. Okay. Now. Ooh, 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 ooh. I think it's going to fit. Okay, that's what's left. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me in the kitchen. And, you know, if your family has a favorite salsa, go for it. Use that. You don't have to use what I suggested. If you've got a 99-cent or 89-cent salsa, girl, just pour it on in there. Okay? If you know your family is going to freak out if they see spinach, don't put it in there. Or chop it so small that they will think it's green peppers. Hey, you know, and if you know your kids will love it, if you put cheese in it, put cheese in it. That's what I did. My family could care less, but it sounded really good. I think it'll make a good binder, and it sure is pretty. And I don't know if you can see that up close, but look at all those beautiful colors. You've got the green from the spinach, and then another shade of green from the green peppers and jalapenos in the salsa. You've got white and the orange cheese. You've got the red ground beef. Y'all, and it smells so good. And I know that's weird, but hey, it fit in my container. Now, I'm going to put my glass lock container. Easy breezy. Doo-doo-doo. Now, I am going to put this in the freezer with a little sticky note on it. And put what it is, of course. 400 degrees for an hour or more. Okay, and you may want to make yourself a note to look about halfway during your time, baking time, and take it out and just pour off some of the extra liquid that collects around the sides. My mom always did that when she made meatloaf, and I think that also can help it keep it from getting too soupy toward the end. So do that if you think it needs it. Top it with your favorite toppings, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe below, and I would love to hear your comments. What else could we put in this Mexican-inspired meatloaf? Our south of the border meatloaf, y'all. That's what I'm going to call it. Okay, what else could we put in here? Okay, I would love to hear from you. I hope this has been a helpful freezer meal video for you, and I hope you'll join me again. Thanks.